Welcome to Ponder and Dream. Before I introduce you to another dynamic individual, I want to remind you that what you think becomes action, causing reaction. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Mike Hobbs of Meets and Bounds Realty. I first met Mike Hobbs when he was in college and working as a loan representative. He quickly moved on to establishing his own mortgage company, as well as investing in real estate. However, caught up in the whirlwind of the last financial crisis, he did make a great effort to persevere, and amazingly, he reinvented himself. So, Mike, please share your transformative journey. And of course, as you wish, we'd love to have tips about buying, selling, investing, and financing real estate.
Sure. Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's a great program, and I think it's great what you do, getting the message out and letting people understand that they're not alone. And I think that's really a big part of what I do every day today. My journey started a long time ago, and as Sophia mentioned, we met many years ago. Can I say the number of decades? Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely. It's been
3 decades ago we met, a long time ago. And at the time, I was just starting out, and I quickly grew to owning multiple corporations and many properties. I own 49% of a partnership in a theme park even, and
oh, wow, wonderful.
All sorts of crazy things. The stuff you amass and get when you have wealth and when you're privileged, and I earned it. It wasn't a silver spoon. My father was just a regular working guy. He was an engineer, but wasn't making big bucks, but we didn't want for anything. So I grew up in an environment, in a family where we didn't want for anything, and it was a great upbringing. However, it didn't prepare me for this last economy. I'd been through other economic downturns, and I'd survived them, and you like to think that we're smart, like, oh, I figured that out, or I headed it off, or I did that. And really, it's not in our control. So this last time, starting 07, my last paycheck from my big corporation, 14th largest in the country in its division, was May of 07, May 15th of 07. Those are those indelible moments that you remember, the ones that kind of take the wind out of us. And I continued to try and fight to keep it going. And in January of 08, I had to shut it down. I had to leave my large 3-acre home, 5,000 square foot home that I built with my family. I have three teenagers at the time. And we had to leave. Not knowing where I was going to go, I then went into the resume writing routine and trying to get a job. I didn't find any help there. So in 08, I literally found myself in the fetal position, not knowing how to make a buck or what to do. So very despondent, very down, very depressed. And I was a high-level athlete in college. I worked in the NFL. I represented NFL athletes and major league athletes in my own firm in the 90s. And so I've been around very strong people. My upbringing was such, my athletic background taught me that, but I couldn't figure out a way to pick myself up. And it was a place that was foreign to me. And having attained as much wealth as I had and seeing it go as quickly as it did was also part of that trauma that came over us.
But it is interesting that even with the great family background, the great education, the great experience, that there are moments in our life that we seem to have to start all over again, as if we're like born brand new, or we just got out of college, we don't have a career. And but I think what happens to us mentally when we've acquired so much and we've done it all, it is honestly a letdown to have to start all over again, because it kind of makes you weary. It's like, but I've done all that.
We internalize it too, and you feel like a failure. And I did. I had kids. I had a wife. I was the sole supporter of the family for decades, and I've done quite well. And we tend to hold on to this identity we've created for ourselves. And it is just an identity, and frankly, it's a facade. And I hear so many people now in what we do. One of the things I do now, one of the companies that I run, is that we deal with hardship. And I hear there are different people come through my door and sit at my desk and talk to me. And those that are in denial, and those that are trying to hang on to it and maintain a facade because it's status and they're afraid of what other people will think of them. And those are the ones that are difficult to help, because those that are ready to let it all go, I'll go back to what you said a minute ago, Sophia, is perfect. I've used that exact same statement. When I got out of college, I had a black and white TV and a couple of pieces of wood and some, cinder block that was my furniture. And we started with nothing.
Right, you start with nothing.
So what's the difference?
Right.
I mean, what, age? Okay. But so what? That's, again, a position we place on ourselves. That's a thing we do to ourselves to say, okay, I'm behind the curve, or I'm behind, or that's a problem. No, it's not. It's a state of mind.